3 weeks. Where location? Montreal, Canada.
Well, I meant like, yeah, like you're at 7 months and 3 weeks. Okay, that's great. So he did femur lengthening, full 8 centimeters. And as you can see, he can do the sit to stand from, basically a chair, perfectly fine. Look at his proportions, guys. I know a lot of you people who are worried about femur lengthening, like looking weird. Does he look weird? Look at his proportions. They look completely natural to me. Obviously, his femur is longer, but you really can't tell with that type of shorts on that are just above the knee, which a lot of people wear. So it looks really good to me. Here's his next video of him kind of doing a little bit of hop, which I don't know if it's so safe right now, but he's doing some push-ups. Look at that, getting down to
No, it's more like stand up, not a push up. No.
What's that? Push to stand up?
Yeah, it's just like stand up, but my femur's been a little bit short, I would say. That's why my proportions look really like, I wouldn't say I did it. Can you imagine? I did experiment to ChatGPT, and it was like, you're gonna have long femurs, and then I uploaded my picture to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was like, oh, you look actually pretty good. I didn't expect that. Your proportions look like really normal. That was funny.
That's funny that ChatGPT said that.
Yeah.
It's really good for 7 months. Like, guys, most people, like, at 7 months, it's like 7 months and 3 weeks, so almost 8 months. That's a really normal walk. The jog and stuff, you're still working on that, but this is a really good progression, I got to say, for recovery. Because if you remember his first video that he had at around 6 months, he was just cleared to walk. It was completely different than this. And my goal is that once he continues to give me more recovery videos, I'm going to make a time lapse or a recovery video for him so you can see the progression at each individual stage. I'll make sure that I put on screen like where he is. This is 6 months, 7 months, and you can see, hey, what does recovery look like for a femur lengthening patient? So thank you, Alex, for providing this content. This is what we need, is patients to contribute content, because we don't really get it. Not Natalie has done it herself. She has stuff on the Paley Institute if you go check out their stuff. Patients all over are now contributing, and that's helpful for future patients. So anyway, all right.
Sure, Victor. Sure. Did you tell them or not?
Tell
that, guys, that you hired me, right? I work for food.
You work for who?
For food. You just pay for my food delivery.
Exactly right. The one resource that is scarce in my life right now because I'm dieting. No,
you just pay for Uber.
Exactly.
And that's it. Uber Eats.
Right. Oh man, but well, we have a full packed house. So before we get into the topic discussion, I just want to kind of do a quick update with some of the patients on here. Let's do Natalie. We haven't talked to her and Ahmed first, and then we'll talk to you almost there. Natalie, what's been happening?
Not much.
Yeah.
I'm actually just Googled. So I'm 6 months and 3 weeks since my surgery date.
Right now?
Yes.
Okay. So 6 weeks. So 6 months and 3 weeks, almost 7 months next week, like end of next week.
105 days.
Yeah. She's counting days.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that that's not atypical for, full consolidation to be like cleared for weight bearing up until 7.5 months. Like I said, the average weight bearing time is 6 months, but it can go as far as 8 months. So you're still within that range. So it's just it's a waiting game, but you're doing pretty good, right?
Yeah, I'm not cleared. Like I'm almost clear. I would think within a month I'll be consolidated, but I'm pretty comfortable walking. My bones are pretty. It's just my right leg. You saw Victor the other day. My right leg is the femur on the interior side. How do you say that?
Medial, yeah.
Medial. So the medial femur is it's the last part of my healing, and so looking at the video you just showed, there I'm not there. I'm probably. So what did you say? He was 7 months and 3 weeks.
1 month ahead of you.
So I could see that happening. So let's see today. Yeah, so I can do that. I just started to learn how to get onto the floor. I'm definitely, cranking out about 6,000 steps a day. So I'm just, walking. My quads are very weak, which is weird. So my hamstrings are very strong. my quads are quite weak, and my left ankle is very weak. So just, in terms of strength testing, I did some strength testing with my PT here. And so that's something that I just discovered. But I'm using the pool a lot. And so I'm doing a lot of strength training in the pool, using, water as resistance and like step ups and things like that. But it's so freeing to walk without assistance. And, I'm still using a crutch to go up and down the stairs just for support. And it's kind of funny. It's just, it's weird because all of a sudden, instead of, going down the stairs 1 foot and then 1 foot and then 1 foot, I'm like going down the stairs 1 foot after the other. And it's like, wow, I couldn't do that last week. And all of a sudden my brain is like, yeah, well, you're going to do it this week.
It's like unlocking new abilities in a video game.
It's crazy. So I think it's really important for people who are interested in doing this to like really, I've been talking to a guy, he just had a surgery yesterday, and other people who are interested or about to do their surgery this year. I think the hardest, after going through all of it, I think the hardest part is really just the time. And so you have to be really patient. It is really, in my opinion, unless you're like a Superman, which I know one guy who was a Superman, and 5-6 months, he had the surgery the same day as me. He's been walking and running for like a month or more than me already. And so I think just being patient and really understanding that this is, you said it a lot on your channel, like it's really a year, right? Like you're really, yes, I'm clear, we'll be clear to walk in a month or so or whatever, but it's just because I'm clear to walk doesn't mean I can walk. You know what I mean? I have to really work on the strength of the legs now and being able to go do simple things like going up and down stairs without assistance and squatting to the ground, just very basic movements. And you really don't understand how hard it is to walk until you just can't do it. And it's such a very humbling experience.
Absolutely. No, I love what you just said. It's like, you have to be patient, and it's hard because, you pay for something and you want immediate results. Like, hey, I paid for this, I should be able to have this, but it's not the way the surgery works, unfortunately, because everybody has different recovery rates. Like you said, your surgery twin was recovered for nearly 2 months, Yeah. But the most rewarding part is that you will recover. And when you do, it's like, hey, I got this height. It's mine. I locked it in. And, I think a good expectation for anyone is with the P2 nails, with the Precise 2, is probably like 8 or 9 months, where you're not walking with a limp and you're doing what we're seeing in this video now. And he's lucky he's almost at 8 months, but I think I had a very different idea. I thought I would be able to be doing this kind of stuff a little bit earlier. And so I just kind of had to bite the bullet and understand that I'm not there yet. And hopefully this all, of course, will change once the new Precise Max nail comes out. Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what I said. It's like Precise 2 nail, it's like average feet on the ground unassisted, usually averages about 6 months. Then normal walking is about 8. And then like completely like back to normal life about the year mark. So it does fall in line kind of with like what I knew about P2, but P Max, weight bearing nail, Stride, all those weight bearing nails, it shaves everything down by like at least 2 months. So you're 100% right about that. Ahmed, how are you doing, man? Let's talk.
Hey guys. Yeah, I'm doing great, Victor. Thank you. I want to say that Alex, you look great, man. I love your videos. And Natalie, congratulations on your progress. Yep, you're welcome. And congrats on your progress, Natalie. So I'm about 55 and 55 millimeters on my right, 50 on my left. Kind of slowed down a little bit. Dr. A said that let's slow it down to like just 0.5 millimeter a day because my bone the bone tissue wasn't really consolidating. Even while you're lengthening, he kind of wants to see some of the tissue come back, and it wasn't coming back kind of to the speed that he wanted it to. So he said, let's slow it down. He said, either way, you're going to make up the time in the back end because you'll be, closer to being consolidated when you're done lengthening. So I was completely okay with that. It honestly kind of allowed me to catch up as far as my knee was kind of sore. like some of the just a little bit of soft tissue on the outside was getting a little bit sore. But I'm continuing my stretching, continuing the hamstring, quad stretches, and everything. I mean, doing good. Like I'm a little bit late to the game as far as walking on the rollator, but I'm walking around a little bit, and I feel great, man. Feel great, to be honest.
That's awesome. So glad to hear that. And honestly, that's one technique that Dr. A's using you that Dr. Rosbrook said in that big surgeon summit that I had. He says, I like to slow my patients down, during lengthening because they'll make it up on the back end, which basically means like coming in for a safe landing, right? Like if you come in too quickly, it's like you could have some turbulence or whatever. It's like it'll take longer to kind of land properly. But you slow it down and you heal quicker. It's just like, so that's a great technique, and he's probably right about that. So that'd be great. All right, guys. So what we'll do is we're going to just talk real quick about today's topic for, 10 minutes or so, and then we'll do a Q&A for anybody in the chat that has questions for you superstars here. So today's topic is about how to avoid questionable, is the word that I'm using now, lengthening clinics, right? Because a lot of people want to get this done, and we know that there's places you can get it done with your eyes closed and everything will go perfectly well as far as the surgery goes, and then you just got to do the rehab. And then there's other places that like you start to kind of question their ethics, you start to question their experience, you question like just the overwatch and supervision, the post-surgical, everything that they have, packaging. And I think that's what patients are fearful of. They see this marketing, they see these advertisements, and they're like, hey, Cyborg, hey, Victor, is this safe to get surgery done over here? And it's like, okay, so how does a patient basically pick a lengthening clinic without harming themselves? So I wanted to kind of like bring up that topic of discussion today. I have 4 points that I kind of want to make, but like, let's just kind of go around the panel real quick and get each, one of your perspectives. So let's start with you, Alex. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that the most important is to listen to your heart. But yeah, I mean, like listen to your heart and listen to your brain. So here is example. My first free consultation, and probably the only consultation that was a year apart from my surgery, was when I found out the forum, and I've seen Gioticus because he's in Greece, and I had consultation with him, and I'll give him a little respect. I read on the forum that there was a patient who died, but many people been saying that it was also fault of the patient. He didn't take blood thinners, something like that. Other people said it's a fault of the surgeon. I think it's 50-50. I mean, it might be in the patient, but you're kind of responsible for the patient. It's a big negative to your, reputation. But when I asked him on the consultation about that, he took it completely calm. Like he said, internet talks about different things, but I don't remember what exactly he said. But at that point, like I just did that consultation. I wasn't even planning really to go there at that moment, but I had like little respect. I was like, okay, he's taking it really like in a good level professionally, And what I'm trying to say is like when you're trying to find the surgeon, just see how they react. If you ask any question, you're free to ask any question you want. And if they look like nervous or they like kind of acting crazy, replying you crazy, like probably I wouldn't go there, because if you get in trouble, there is no guarantee that after that you will ask, hey, doctor, I don't know, no name, can you help me with that? And he will react like exactly like that, like being nervous, telling you something what you didn't expect. And that's what I would say, like, because I can't tell much. You see, there are people right now, even in the comments, somebody is trying to prove that Turkey is okay. I mean, for me, it's not okay. But maybe there are some places where you can survive, and even like I've seen some people did it, and they've been kind of successful, but I wouldn't go there personally. I think that I have a high level of thinking and logic and stuff like that. So it's hard to argue with people who are proving you. And I've seen few videos actually, man, they coming in search on YouTube. When I do something, I listen them, even from Turkey, and these guys, oh, I did well. I didn't get this type of surveys in my country, in Northern America. They have gym, everything. So what can I say about that? I can't call those people liars if they really did it, but I wouldn't go there personally. So that's what I'm trying to say. I was really confident with my surgeon, and I said that before. For some reason, I just trusted her because for me was the most important. The person must be fair and professional. My surgeon looked professional from the first day I seen her, like when you had interview. And when I talked with her, like she was professional. And I remember first time on my, not online, she had first online consultation and then in person. I came to the place, to the private clinic, and I wasn't really happy about the receptionist because she overcharged me by accident for the first consultation. That I think it's included in the surgery price or whatever. But it was kind of not really, because I asked for receipt and it was kind of confusing. Geez, like what's going on? And then as soon as I came in to the room, and then my surgeon came in, and I started talking, and I kind of like calmed down. Like I was like, oh, okay, everything is cool. She looks cool, like professional. Like I see clearly. My surgeon knows what she's saying, like what she's talking about. Like every question I asked, it was like like putting on shelves the answers. And I was kind of impressed with that. When I left the room, I was like, okay, yeah, all good, all good. I'm confident. But before, when I was entering, when it was like confusion with the reception,
Yeah.
I started like being a little bit not nervous, but kind of like, what the hell is going on, like that. But
Yeah.
after I talked, I was like really like I was confident before, but then I was like that when I came first time, and then when I met my surgeon, I was like, okay, everything seems how I thought, so all good. I'm doing it here. I'm not even like, and that was the easiest option for me as well. But that was not why I chose it here. I was here in Canada. I wanted to move to Montreal. I actually moved here, and I did it here. If not, then I was thinking about South Africa. Never wanted to go to States because it's too expensive. I think it's overpriced because you also have to pay for the accommodation and stuff like that. Maybe if you're American, you can do it there, but it's not. And other places like Turkey, India, I talked about this before, man. No way, like really, no way. Even maybe for free, like, and maybe not. I wouldn't go for free. I swear. I'm kind of cautious about that. My health, I don't want to lose my leg or something. So I don't care like if somebody did successfully and cheap there. Okay, thanks God. You are lucky, guys. I'm happy for you, but I don't want to risk like that really. Like I will probably stick around with a lift and jump around like Tom Cruise. And actually, this is ending of my talking. Guys, if you didn't watch Last Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, I advise to watch it. Freaking amazing part, man. And these guys is only 170, it's 5'7", but lift jumping like at 62 years old. Maybe he was 60 when they did. This is also, you see, like 5'7". So sometimes, like height, it's good to be taller, but you still can do great, like Tom Cruise. It's a really nice movie. So
that's awesome. Yeah. So basically, professionalism, and like that's what you get. And then obviously, if a surgeon is showing off some nervousness or anxiety, you feel like that. So basically, like the presentation is what really kind of gives you the vibe. You're really looking for that vibe for you. That's really good that you say that, actually, because that's kind of important. But does it tell the whole story? Because what if a surgeon's well really good at selling you, right? Like they're like, oh, I'm going to practice my professionalism in my presentation. They could fool you. So Natalie, what about you? How would you go about finding a clinic that is safe versus questionable?
I think it's super easy. I think that just listening to this podcast, we know there's very questionable clinics in Turkey, Egypt, India, and I think you can easily find cheaper institutions in other parts of the world. There are good places, probably like that one doctor in South Africa you talked about. There's another guy in Korea I know about. But I would just say to people, don't cheap out. I've met people at the Paley Institute who, cheaped out, and their life is ruined. They have to go, and I think he even had a guy on here who had to took him. He went to a cheaper institute. It took him like 2 years or something to get his life back, and luckily he could get it back. I met a guy who had his done in Egypt, and his right leg was stuck in like a 90-degree angle for like 6 months, and they obviously he had an extreme muscle contracture. And I just don't think it's worth it. You end up spending hundreds of thousands of dollars more trying to get fixed. So how do you find a qualified clinic? I would just get on to a consultation with you, Victor. And I think you probably can advise people the best based on your experience. If people are unable to afford even just like the Paley Clinic, you had that guy who was that guy again that was 6 feet and went to 6'6", and he went to the Turkey Clinic. Mm-hmm. And we were doing a cost analysis, and it wasn't actually that much more to go to Florida and see Dr. Paley versus doing it in Turkey, right? So when you look at the packages and things like that, I think it's something very strong to consider. It's almost like getting your eyes done. Like you want to be able to see again, right? Until you don't walk, you don't understand how necessary walking is, or how enjoyable it is. I don't want to say necessary because there's a lot of people who aren't able to walk, but it is so enjoyable to be able to walk and get yourself from place A to place B point, And so, and that's why I find it so freeing being able to walk a little bit here and there, because it's such a simple thing. It's such a simple activity that all of us who can walk take for granted. And when you just can't do it, it's challenging, and I'm sure it can be very heartbreaking for people who lose the ability to walk once they've been able to walk their whole life. People who get in accidents and things like that. And so I think you really need to think about that and understand how serious this is, and understand how important it is for the surgeon to work with you and understand, who we were talking about. Ahmed was talking about slowing down to 0.5 millimeter a day. Great, because he's not seeing bone tissue growth. That's awesome. You want a doctor like that who's looking after you and trying to get you the best outcome possible, which is to be able to walk the way you did before surgery, right? So that's my advice. I don't think it's very difficult. I think you call up Victor, make an appointment with him on his consultation. And I know I'm like selling you, but I've probably talked to you 100 times through my process. Yeah, you were so there for me when all sorts of things were happening, and you just don't know. You just don't know. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it to go to a Turkey clinic or an Egyptian clinic or like some cheap Indian clinic. Of course, it's expensive, but when there's a will, there's a way. I think if you can figure out how to pay $50,000 for it, then you can figure out a way to pay $90,000 for it, which is the rough estimate for most reputable surgeons. I think that's my 2 cents.
I love it. That was both of you guys, Alex and Natalie. You guys have great points, and Natalie, you're 100% right. I think that it's not that much more expensive when you look at, hey, I'm safeguarding my limbs, right? Like until you lose walking, we all take it for granted. I even kind of done it again, even though I broke my legs like 3 or 4 times already. Until it's gone, you really don't realize what you lost. And I think that patients, when they see, hey, that person got taller, and they really want to get taller, and they're like, I really want to get taller. My life will be so much better if I'm taller. It's so powerful and emotionally pulling that they are willing to go ahead and do it for cheap. But that's the biggest risk, because if you get a complication that takes you 4, 5, 6 surgeries to correct yourself, now you're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And we've had Nizo on in the past where he has gone to one of those questionable clinics, and he has spoken large volumes about that clinic that he went to, and he is completely regretful of his decision. So well said, Natalie. Well said, Alex. And we're going to get Ahmed's perspective, and then I'll just give you guys my 4 points, and we'll take a quick Q&A, and we'll wrap it up. So Ahmed, when you were picking your surgeon, like, how did you go about doing it? Was it like kind of similar to what Natalie said? Like, hey, look, I want to pick a safe surgeon to avoid complications, or more like what Alex said, like, hey, the professionalism, the demeanor, the, you know, just the overall vibe of the surgeon. How did you go about doing it?
Yeah, so fortunately for me, I'm like right in your neighborhood, Victor. I'm in Baltimore as well, and one of the best, Dr. Asiag, is out here. So I was very fortunate for that. I didn't have to travel anywhere. I did do some research. I never thought about going overseas. To me, I just canceled that out right from the gate. Like, that's not something I was going to do. But yeah, as far as doing some research, I think that's very important that your doctor's able to communicate with you. You know, a simple text every now and then, like, replies ASAP, anything you need. Like, hey, like, what do you think about these vitamins? What do you think about this, that, and the third? They'll get back to you immediately. And I think that's super important. Every single one of my consultations, he asked me, like, is there anything that you need right now? Like, is there any questions that I can answer for you? Just really personable. I think that, like, makes you feel so good, because you're already going through so much physically, that when you have those reassurances from that mental, social kind of aspect, it's really important. So aside from financial obligations that you're going to have to go with, you know, honestly, the just finding someone who you can really speak to, because this is new and everyone kind of has a different experience, and a doctor that understands that it's not like, you know, you go somewhere overseas and they just kind of put you through a cookie cutter method, because they can, you know, they can go ahead and customize something to your body, to your liking. If you have more time, they can slow you down. If, you know, he asks, like, what are your goals? What's your time frame looking like? So you can really get some specialized treatment for yourself. So asking those right questions is really important. In addition to that, I'll say that, you know, I did contact a few. I contacted the doctor in California. I just didn't think it was going to be something I wanted to do, was to travel. So I was just really fortunate, man, to be honest. Like, I'm right in town and he's right here. So it was kind of a win-win for me. So it was a simple answer.
That's awesome. That's awesome, brother. Yeah, I was lucky, just like you. My surgeon was here in Baltimore, and sometimes patients don't luck out that well, but I like what you said. It's like, hey, somebody you can reach out to if you have a concern or a question during lengthening, and they get back to you with a very professional, rapid response. I mean, I think that's huge for a procedure like this. And yeah, that's fantastic, guys. Great perspective. So I'm going to go ahead and share my four points that I kind of have, and it's actually for an upcoming. It's an outline for an upcoming video that I'm going to talk about. Let me just hide this off screen because I can't do it all at the same time. But so basically, this was the title of the video is like how to you know, sift through new clinics, questionable clinics, and inexperienced clinics. And Natalie kind of talked about inexperienced clinics. Alex kind of talked about questionable clinics, and new clinics are popping up all the time, right? Because we have this very popular procedure. People want to get taller. It's a high demand and it's growing fast. So my clinic evaluation framework that I kind of use as a consultant in this field is, number one, clinic claims and practices. If you go to their website and their promises